guy right here is slaying it.
People that aren't familiar with Kevin Pearce and this story, what is the story of Crash Reel, and how did you decide as a filmmaker to tell it?
The story of Crash Reel is the story of Kevin Pearce, his rise as he grew through a love of snowboarding to a real talent that he really worked hard at until he was going into the Vancouver Olympics sort of neck and neck with Shaun White, who's this legend in the sport. And Kevin was challenging him when December 31st, 2009, he crashed in the Park City halfpipe and nearly died with a severe traumatic brain injury. He was in a coma for a long time, had to learn how to walk and talk. And then as soon as he came back to life, all he wanted to do was snowboard. But he has a real problem because if he hits his head again, he's going to die. His brain can't sustain it, even a small hit. And so watching what happens with that dynamic is very dramatic.
I still want to snowboard.
You actually could die.
What made you decide to tell this very personal story in a film and open it up for the whole world to see?
I think there were a bunch of different pieces and a bunch of different reasons we wanted to make this film so badly. And, one is to raise awareness and, let the world know about traumatic brain injuries. Along with that, I think the other one is, for me, it's a comeback. It is possible to come back and, live a great life, have such a good time, and just really be happy.
I feel 100% confident.
No.
Not you?
You've always picked very specific and very interesting, very deep subject matter for your documentaries. What was it about Crash Reel and the story of Kevin that made you decide this is something I want to take on as a filmmaker, this is a story I want to tell?
Kevin was a superstar, just so courageous and open and eloquent, and I think documentaries are best when the people in them really open themselves up in a really honest way, which is really hard for most people. And Kevin went there, and Kevin's story really shows you quite how high the stakes are. And then it gets better from there. I didn't know when I began it quite how the journey was going to be and what else was going to happen. But you never know how it's going to end up. Even when you're filming it, I didn't know whether it was going to have a happy ending or a tragic ending. And there's tragedy that happens along the way, honestly. So it's not been an all happy road, but I think it is a very deeply inspiring and encouraging film.